What's poppin', brother? What's poppin', man?
Oh man, yeah, I just got into Green Bay a little while ago, so I've been just playing with the nieces and nephews here.
Okay,
How's
okay.
everything going back there?
Chilling, man. I'm just cooling, not really doing too much, man. Just
Do I
relaxing.
see you letting it grow a little there?
Bruh, I ain't got no choice. I can't get a haircut, man. It's messed up. I have no choice. It's fucked up.
It's what are they saying? June 1st. It should be barbershops should be able to open up and
Supposedly. I can only hope that something gets allowed to be able to do so.
absolutely, man. So hey, I wanted to jump right into this because you're coming off of the last couple of years, especially.
Uh-huh.
You have been just killing it in the music scene. From playing beer dabblers and playing large festivals, playing. You're dropping two full length EPs. Your tour with Prof, like it's been a lot going on with you. So to have this hit at this time. What kind of has this meant to you, and how have you just been like able to bounce and kind of stay together with it?
Man, shit sucks. It sucks, man. But it's one of those things where you gotta push through. It's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands, and it's out of a lot of people's control. So if you can't do anything, and just keep it going, and that's where I'm at with it. And so I'm just trying to stay focused, stay chill, and not do too much.
I mean it's hard, and I mean you have the benefit of Travis Gorman being
Yeah.
in the Twin Cities there and being able to work with him for over the course of what have you guys been together for 6-7 years now?
For a minute, man. Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
It's been quite a while. So, having a lot of creatives in the city here still, I think has allowed people to kind of stick together through this. Minneapolis music scene, there's been a lot of support all around for people. So,
Yeah.
So with that said, with the support and everything, one of the other things I wanted to talk a little bit about today, and I wanted to talk with you about it because I know that these venues have a very special place for you as well. But the Save Our Stages hashtag, everything going on with First Avenue, with Seventh Street, with us seeing Honey close down.
That's
what
crazy.
what can you kind of say about the Save Our Stages and just what that movement has meant?
Man, it means a lot. It means a lot just for the simple fact that I mean, it's so crazy because if a lot of these stages are gone, and a lot of like me and a lot of independent artists or a lot of smaller artists aren't able to be booked for that type of stuff. So I mean, it impacts a lot, and just for First Step and them to be trying to take the step forward and lead the charge and trying to be better and trying to help all these venues. I mean, it means a lot, and that's why I wanted to, I wanted to do my part with the shirts. Literally, I just did something with the shirts where I'm donating all the money that from the shirts to First Staff and the Twin Cities Music Trust, Community Trust. So, yeah, man, it's it's crazy, it's wild. So but it's a great thing that they're trying to take the charge and just instead of just being like, well, I ain't got nothing to do with me, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I definitely love everyone at First Staff and all the people who are definitely trying to help, and save these stages, because I mean it means a lot, man. It means a lot, because if not, then we won't be able to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah, seeing Honey close up was one of those that I know, one of the first things that we did together, and not that I was a part of this, but one of the first things that I covered with you was your concert at Christmas time with
Toys for Tots.
with Keith.
Yep.
And so seeing all the shows that I've seen there and seeing all of the artists that have come through these smaller venues, it it really does mean a lot for First Ave to be doing this. And that was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was your Stop Drop Rollin' shirts. And I wanted to give you a chance to kind of let people know where to get those, you know, how to support and everything else.
Yeah, man. So, we're doing this thing. Got to Stop Drop Rolling. Everybody knows usually. It was considering, you know, if something to do with Dwynell Roland to Stop Drop Rolling. And, so, you know, I wanted to do something that was helping. And I didn't want to take the money. I'm not struggling per se. So I know that me taking the money, I was just like, well, what can I do when I know there's other people struggling, and bartenders and staff, security, and other artists. And so, you know, I tried my best to figure out ways, and then that was that. And, you know, donating to the music scene, the same music scene that allowed me to have a career to a certain extent. And, you know, I mean, I can't, if I have a chance to help, I will. And I think you know that out of a lot of people. I mean, I did the Toys for Tots thing, you know?
Right.
So, you know, I try my best to try to help if I can, and if I have the opportunity to do so. And I know at this point I have the opportunity to do so. So, you know, that's what it is. But yeah, pretty much you get the shirts. It's a link. There's also a link on my bio. It goes straight to the shirts, and you can order it. And they'll come to you, and then all the proceeds go to First Ave and the Music Trust, Twin Cities Music Trust. So yeah, man, I'm just trying to help, just trying to help. And plus, then and also you got to Stop Drop Rolling shirt. I mean,
right,
you know what I'm saying? Baby? New designs.
And it's huge. It's one of those things. It's something that I talked about briefly before you got into here. Was you know, when I first moved to the Twin Cities, one of the first shows I ever did photography at was Prof Outdoors 3, and you were performing. And you know, I was kind of awkward. I didn't really know anybody in the scene yet, and it was you and Novian and Reason that came up, and like. We're just like, oh, what's going on? Like, we're this group, like, and just talk to me. And it was one of those things where you can tell the humbleness in a person, you right off the bat. So it's really great to see you continuing this, even in like a time like this, to be able to be putting other people first. It's huge.
Hey man, I'm trying, man. You know me, man. I'm trying, and like. Even not only with music, but just with personal life. I mean, you know me, man. You know, you can be like, hey, yo, what you up to? Da, da, da. Like, hey, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, how I like to do it is just that as long as I can see other people happy or try to help, that means a lot to me. And knowing that this could really help a lot of people means a lot, you know. I mean, knowing that, you know, this money from these shirts could help, whether it may be a lot of money or it may not, even though it is going off to a really, really good start. So
yeah, that's a good sign.
yeah, it's going off to a really good start. A very, very, like, goddamn. Me and Jordan were talking about it, like, all right. So, man, it's going good, and so. Yeah, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, I just want to help people. And I've always stayed to a point where communication isn't hard for me. As far as I'm like very accessible.
Yeah.
And if anyone needs anything, they can ask. And if I can do it, I will. And you know that. And so.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely, and that's the other thing I touched on a little bit before you had gotten in, was just the fact that I know we had talked about this, and I think it was half dozen that had told you, you know, if you go out and meet 5 people after every show, like that's gonna mean more than how big you crushed it on stage. Like that's always important to do as well, and that's what I like. I mean, when I see you perform, like you're one of the livest performers we have in the Twin Cities. The energy you bring to it. But then you take that off the stage and you come up and you come with the same type of positive energy and everything towards meeting fans, and I think that's a big sign of things to come for you. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah, so what I want to do now is just jump into the questions. So this is the heart of this podcast,
Uh-oh.
interview series, whatever we want to call it. We have these quarantine questions. So so the first one, you know, being in quarantine, it forces you to be alone a little bit more. You're alone with yourself.
Yeah.
And I know personally from living alone for like 4 years that the longer that you're alone, the more weird stuff you tend to do. And so, what's something during all of this that, what's that? Oh, I think I just cut off for a second.
It went off for a little bit. I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm back. We good.
So what's one thing that you've done during quarantine or that you caught yourself doing that you've been like, man, what am I doing right now? Like, I can tell you for me personally, like what I do a lot that I catch myself is like when I'm singing, I tend to make weird faces. Like if I'm like singing along to a song, I'll be like making a face that I think goes along with the energy of the song.
You know what? This shouldn't be weird, but it is weird because now I have the time to do so, and it should be a normal thing in everyday life. But I am cooking. I'm actually cooking. So I'm actually making things. So, or trying to at least. So I think that's weird for me because I'm always been the person who literally just be like, all right, Chipotle, here, take out Ray J's wings. Oh,
I always see you with a plastic bag whenever you show up at shows.
Bro, easy. So I think right now, Dwynell, who's your favorite half? No, he's Jordan. But so no, man. I think it's cooking, even though it's not weird per se, but I think I'm doing it. So it's weird for me to be like, damn, all right, bro.
Absolutely. So that kind of brings us into the next question, which is, you know, diets are a huge thing for people, especially, you know, early on in the year. People are trying to get their summer body in shape or their New Year's resolution and everything like that. But, you know, COVID hit and then diets kind of go out the window.
Right.
So what's something that either you've overeaten or something that you just can't get enough of during all this?
I eat no bullshit. I eat steak every other day. I'm joking. I'm not. I don't have to really worry about my diet because I don't gain weight. Like, I can eat whatever and I don't gain weight. Like,
right,
bro. I don't gain weight, so I never really had to do the diet thing. I'm never really in the gym. That's the only thing that would suck if I was working out like I used to back then, but I'm not because the gyms are closed.
Right.
But I mean that's about it. But as far as diet, man, I eat a lot of steak. Like I've been cooking now. Just what I've been cooking is like steak, a lot of steak. Some potatoes.
So what cut of steak do you go with?
Sirloin.
What's that?
Sirloin. Oh my god.
Sirloin, yeah.
I was like, hey man, this the root beer. The root beer.
That's a good root beer. That's the one to go with.
It's great. So.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I might be able to bring my parents raise beef cattle, so maybe I'll be able to bring a few sirloins back for you, some of that organic grass fed for you.
Hook brother.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so the next topic we talked about a little bit, but you know, with live music world coming to pretty much a halt right now, it hasn't stopped a lot of creatives from really being able to get their music out there, get their visuals out there, and even doing live sets. So what's something throughout all of this that you've seen or done yourself that you thought like, man, that's a really innovative way to get live music out?
Are we talking on big scales or local scales or what?
Either or.
That Travis Scott shit for Fortnite was crazy. That was the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I wasn't seeing it live. I don't play Fortnite. I don't know. I just seen the video. That right there was the most creative live stream perform, even though he wasn't, it was all computerized with just the songs in the back. Right. But just to see the image and how they did everything was amazing. And I think that is the one right there. When I seen that, I was like, yikes. Yep. I was like, Jeez, like how do you even like what?
Well, and
So
he's somebody. I mean, Travis Scott is somebody that has put so much effort into his live performance and
exactly,
his ability to get music out creatively. So it's really cool to see people not, you know, not just sitting back on their heels through all this and really pushing
exactly,
through and doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's crazy.
bro. I seen that, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah, so I think out of all the any live performance or anything, I think that had to. Even though I don't know if you can even count that as a live performance, but
yeah. I mean, to an extent. I mean, it's a creative way to get your music out, regardless.
exactly. So
Right.
that is the most creative that I've seen. Who locally Nerdy's been doing a lot. He's been killing it. Yeah, man, it's different. It's real different. I
Yeah.
I personally don't like doing it. I did it for the current recently. I didn't not saying I didn't like doing it. It's just weird because knowing how I am as a performer,
Right.
and I'm very interactive, touch people, I jump on things, I
Right. Right.
I steal people's beers, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You know, so it's weird to be like, oh, yeah, I'm about to perform and just rap and just stay still. It's super weird. So, you know, I'm trying to fill it out. Really, I can't say that I like it. But who knows? How many touchdowns Mercedes? I'll text him. I'll ask him.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of creative things. One thing, you know, with that, it's hard because even if you just had a couple other screens up there with people's faces, so you can like interact that way. But I've seen like they're doing like drive-in shows now, where like I saw down at Texas Stadium, they were doing the new home of the Texans. They were just going to have a bunch of people drive in and have like, I think like 200 cars or something in the stadium, and then they could tune in to the mics so that the song would be coming through. So I mean, it's weird, but they're gonna come up with creative ways to get it out there. So
and that's what you got to do. And Jordan has been pushing. I don't know if he's still in here, but Jordan has been pushing me a lot to try to get creative as possible. And you know, we're coming with stuff. I just got to figure out how I'm gonna do it. And
yeah,
so that's the crazy thing, man. It's just when you have nothing to do, you have to actually put your mind to something to figure out what to do now and adapt to what's going on. And obviously, we can't do live shows. I don't even think we won't do a live show till next year around this time.
that's what it's sounding like. I mean, from everybody I've been talking to, it's a ways out.
So having to do it like next year around this time, that's a lot of time from here to then. So, you know, you got to figure out nothing stops. You always got to adapt. So, yeah, the big thing is just adapting. I think since this never happened before, everyone's looking at everyone else like, okay, well, what's going on and who's going to take the charge and who's going to figure out what. And that's it as far as this artist. No one knows. No one knows what the hell's going on at this moment and at this point.
Right.
So I think everyone's just lost and just gradually just trying to look at everyone else and see what they're doing and try to combine other aspects with other people that are doing things and then trying to make their own thing at that. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks that it's taking something like this to get this type of creativity,
Right.
in terms of like, because people just aren't thinking about Instagram live shows because they're just doing live shows. So it sucks that it takes something like this, but it's also cool to see people adapt in real time. So, so then another thing, you know, we kind of touched a little bit on this earlier as well, but you know, when we have all this time, like music tends to be a big creative outlet for a lot of people, whether it's people listening to music while they create art, whether it's artists that are creating the music themselves. But during all this, I know a lot of people have had time to work on other aspects of their life. So has there been something that like you found like a hidden talent or something that you've been wanting to do that you are doing a little bit more now?
Ooh, my phone was on 10%. Ooh. No, my bad. No, I've been trying to make beats. I've been trying to dive into making beats, and It's way harder than I ever thought it would. I thought it was pretty simple, but it's not simple. Well, at least the software I'm using, like Ableton, is very hard.
Right,
So
right.
I probably might dumb it down and do Fruity Loops or some crazy, some simple shit, because Ableton is hard as hell. And yeah, so it's it's a learning. It's learning, and I think, yeah, the beats is what I'm trying to do, and
Yeah.
just make that happen. So I mean, I guess I don't
I mean,
know.
this is the time to do it.
No, yeah, dude, this is definitely the time to do it. So yeah, man, just trying to learn how to make beats and just really just trying to progress on that aspect, and hopefully just try to take the time to better improve my craft as far as music just by making beats. But not only that, but just trying to dig deep into myself as far as a personal level, and just trying to figure out what else is needed, and what can I do, and how can I branch out to be better. So
Absolutely. So the last question I have for you, and before we kind of wrap all this up, is, you know, Monday we just started opening up a little bit, and more things are starting to slowly open up. So
yeah.
what's one thing that like you just can't wait to come back into our lives?
To be completely honest, man, is live shows, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, just being able to go to a concert and just not saying, not even performing, but just watching a concert. I guess, it makes you take things like that for granted, because it was always there. It's always accessible. You always had shows, especially in Minneapolis, and what I
Right.
mean. There's a show, you can have 5 rap shows in 1 week. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, which that alone is rare for any city. But now that there's no rap shows, there's no shows at all, and you can't go to anything, then it's
Right.
just like, God damn, it
Yeah.
makes you really think, like, holy, like, man,
Yeah.
like, I really want to go to a show, and that's what it is, man. I just want to have that feeling of just being able to be present and watch a show and just being like, damn, hell yeah. So
And
I think,
that's a big thing. I mean, that atmosphere of a live show, whether you're performing, shooting at the show to listen, it's such a different feeling, and it's such an escape for a lot of people that I think a lot of people are waiting for that music to come back. And it doesn't matter if you're at a show of 50 or 5,000,
right,
like it's that energy that you get at a live show is just it's a different sensation. So
it's
I'm right
dude,
there with you, man. I'm wanting to shoot shows. I'm wanting to be at shows, like connecting with people, talking with people, like
yeah. I
so.
think I think that's the one, because before all this stuff happened, I mean, I would pop out to shows randomly all the time, whether local, whether small shows, whether it was like honey shows, where or big shows or medium shows or little block parties. Like, I always pop out to show.
Right.
I love seeing shows. I love seeing other people able to express themselves and their talent, and also I just like discovering new people as well with music. I'm a fan of all music, so like I said, man, just being able to go to a show would be the most amazing thing, but obviously that is not allowed.
Hopefully soon. But so yeah, the last thing I want to do is just give it to you to kind of talk to the fans, talk to anybody, let them know kind of what you're working on, any projects you have, any merch, anything like that.
Hi, my name is Dwynell Roland. No, me and Travis are trying to figure out what we're trying to do. As far as the EP or something, I think we are going to try to do that. I have a lot of stuff. It's kind of funny. I had a lot of stuff planned. I had an EP with Andre Marriott coming up. I had me and Laserbeak. He just actually announced. He just put it up on Twitter. But me and Laserbeak is doing the EP pretty soon. But like, since the COVID stuff got out the way, I think and I can just go to Travis's at any time. So I think me and Travis is gonna try to put out a little short, little 3-4 song, little something, and then we'll figure it out from there. But I think that is on the way. I can't really tell you a timeline. I don't know a timeline for it. I just know that we're thinking of it and we're headed towards that way. As far as merch, those shirts, that I talked about earlier. Yeah, man, new shirts, new design for a limited time, and then all of that is being donated. So, I just wanted to give back. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is for me just to get those shirts off and just be able to donate and give back. I think that's the biggest thing for me, and that I wanna do. But as far as music, man, there's not really too much you can do. You can't do shows or nothing.
Right.
So, in the meantime, I'm just trying to make music low key, and me and Travis meet each other twice a week, once a week, and just make music. So hopefully something comes to that degree where we can make that and put it out. And like I said, I have no timeline. No one knows what's going on, and no one knows what will happen
Right.
as far as that stuff. So you just gotta play it by ear. But in the meantime, your boy is busy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying.
Things going. Yep. Absolutely, man. Well, hey, I want to say thanks again for sitting down, for catching up with us. I'm glad, things are going well there. You're staying healthy. You're staying good.
Yeah.
And I am excited to see what you guys will produce there. Travis, shout out to Travis. He's an incredible producer in the Twin Cities here.
Boy.
What he's been doing for years. We're working with you guys. And yeah, I just want to say to everybody else, jump out, buy the shirt, support the local scene, support the venues. The hashtag Save Our Stages. And again, thanks for tuning in with us. Thanks for sitting down, and we'll catch you soon. Hopefully, I'll have some sirloin steaks for you when I get back to the city.
Please do. And hopefully next time you see me, I ain't looking like this anymore.
Yeah, sure. I'm telling you, man, it's getting out of control, man.
I'm looking terrible. I look a lot older right now. That's what someone said to me.
We'll be all cleaned up, fresh to go.
So, all right, man.
All right, man. Hey,
Thank
take
you
it
very
easy,
much,
man.
brother.